In the unrelenting roar of our modern world, it is terrifyingly easy to feel fractured, as if your attention, your peace, and your very identity are being torn apart by 1,000 invisible hands. The pressures of a demanding career, the friction of interpersonal misunderstandings, and the sudden jolts of unexpected misfortune can leave you feeling utterly exhausted. Yet, there exists a timeless psychological armor, a way of walking through the flames completely untouched. Imagine a life where external chaos no longer has permission to disrupt your internal sanctuary. This isn't an idealistic fantasy. It is the core promise of practical wisdom. Today, we are breaking down 10 profound pillars of emotional sovereignty, designed to build an unbreakable psychological fortress within you. These are not abstract concepts, but sharp, daily mental tools to help you reclaim total authority over your life. If you are ready to stop being a casualty of circumstance and become the absolute ruler of your mind, let us begin this transformation together. Do me a quick, simple favor. Hit that subscribe button and don't miss a single second of what follows. Consider a ship that sets out into a violent, fog-laden sea without a compass, a map, or a designated port. It is entirely at the mercy of every rogue wave and shifting current, bound to break against the rocks. That is exactly how a life feels when it lacks a definitive, unyielding mission. Without an internal North Star, you are perpetually reactive, defenseless against the whims of the world. True resilience demands that you forge an absolute clarity of intent. This isn't about setting superficial career targets or chasing fleeting milestones. It requires deep, brutal honesty about what you stand for when everything else is stripped away. What are the non-negotiable values that define your existence? When your core blueprint is crystal clear, the overwhelming mountains of daily adversity suddenly shrink into minor, manageable steps on an evolutionary ladder. When someone hurls an insult or treats you unfairly, the immediate human instinct is to strike back or wallow in resentment. But the ancient masters remind us that things don't upset us. Our internal commentary about those things upsets us. You must become the hyper-vigilant gatekeeper of your own mind. Think of a master watchmaker, completely immersed in assembling intricate gears. Around him, a chaotic crowd screams criticisms and empty praise. Yet his hand remains perfectly steady, entirely detached from the noise. Every single time you refuse to take the bait of a provocative comment, you are strengthening your psychological immune system. You are training yourself to recognize that you own the space between a stimulus and your reaction. Protect your mental clarity like a diamond. Do not let the toxic garbage of other people's insecurities clutter your sanctuary. Neutralizing external judgment requires a profound level of self-knowledge. When you are deeply rooted in who you are, the opinions of others become nothing more than wind blowing against a stone wall. The first step in defanging criticism is to pause and dissect it with cool, clinical logic. Ask yourself, is there a grain of objective truth in what was said? If there is, it is a free lesson for your self-improvement. If it is completely false, it has nothing to do with you. It is merely a mirror of the other person's internal confusion and suffering. By depersonalizing the friction of daily life, you strip negative words of their power. You learn to take what is constructive to refine your character and effortlessly discard the rest. Transforming an offense is the ultimate test of emotional alchemy. Holding on to bitterness is equivalent to drinking poison and expecting your enemy to perish. When someone wrongs you, create an immediate mental distance. Practice the art of cognitive reframing. Treat the incident as a rigorous training simulation, specifically designed to test your patience and maturity. Furthermore, tap into deep empathy. Recognize that cruel behavior usually stems from a place of deep, unhealed personal trauma. Responding to hostility with quiet composure doesn't mean you condone bad behavior. It means you refuse to let their darkness dictate your light. Forgiveness is not a favor you do for the offender. It is a radical act of liberation for yourself. Fear and shame are two of the heaviest anchors dragging down the human spirit. But they only exist because of the stories we tell ourselves. Fear thrives in the shadows of the unknown. To conquer it, you must drag it into the light of analytical thought. Break your anxieties down into their smallest, literal components. Often, you will find that the monster you feared is nothing more than a shadow cast by a tiny problem. Similarly, shame traps you in past mistakes, convincing you that you are fundamentally flawed. Confront those memories with fierce self-compassion. Forgiving your past self isn't about ignoring errors. It is about extracting the wisdom from the wreckage, dusting yourself off, and stepping boldly into the present moment. A seasoned sea captain does not wait for a hurricane to hit before figuring out how to secure the sails. They mentally rehearse every catastrophe long before they ever leave the harbor. This mental preparation is the strategic visualization of adversity. Take time regularly to envision your plans going completely awry. Meetings failing, technology crashing, or sudden delays throwing off your schedule. This isn't pessimism. It is absolute tactical readiness. By familiarizing your mind with potential roadblocks before they manifest, you eliminate the paralyzing element of surprise. When a crisis inevitably arrives, you won't panic. You will simply execute the solutions you have already rehearsed in the laboratory of your mind. Your true personal power is directly proportional to your capacity to master your internal responses. True inner strength is cultivated through deliberate, quiet awareness. It is the ability to recognize an emotional surge, be it anger, panic, or grief, and observe it. Draw a sharp line between what is completely within your control and what is not. You cannot control macroeconomics, global events, or the behavior of strangers. But you have absolute sovereignty over your judgments and actions. Lean into this distinction. Let go of the urge to micromanage the external universe and pour that salvaged energy back into building an unshakable character. Think about the last time you were stuck in gridlock traffic and someone aggressively cut you off. The default reaction is immediate, burning rage. But what does shouting inside a metal box actually accomplish? It changes nothing about the traffic, yet it ruins your internal peace. True mastery is found in the deliberate restraint of your immediate impulses. When an urge to react aggressively strikes, force yourself to pause. Take a slow, measured breath. In that brief moment of intentional delay, reason returns. Choose to act not on primitive impulse, but on conscious, calculated logic. By practicing self-restraint in small daily inconveniences, you build the discipline required to handle life's massive crises with absolute grace. Resistance to reality is the primary source of human suffering. When you fight against an unchangeable event, a layoff, a sudden loss, an ended relationship, you waste invaluable psychological energy, screaming at the rain for falling. Radical acceptance is the first necessary step toward meaningful action. Accepting reality doesn't mean you surrender or give up. It means you clearly acknowledge the current state of play, so you can make your next move with a sharp, sober mind. Stop wishing things were different and look at the board exactly as it is. Once you accept the baseline of your reality, you can instantly pivot your energy away from complaining and toward strategic, creative problem solving. Ultimately, the highest human achievement is to live in perfect harmony with the grand design of the cosmos. Recognize your small, beautiful place in this vast tapestry of existence. Life operates in eternal, natural cycles. Seasons of growth are inevitably followed by seasons of shedding, renewal, and rest. Align yourself with these shifts rather than fighting them. Cultivate timeless virtues. Seek deep wisdom. Practice intentional courage. Demand justice in your actions. And maintain temperance in your desires. Simplify your life by stripping away the excess noise and artificial validation of modern society. Focus intensely on what is essential. Nurture your community and protect the sanctuary of your mind. As we step back out into the noise of the world, carry these truths with you as an unbreakable shield. The world will try to shake you, but remember, true power is never about controlling what happens out there. It is about absolute mastery over what happens within you. Step forward today with unshakable confidence, knowing you possess the tools to remain completely calm amidst any storm. Thank you for investing your time with us here. If this guide sparked something within you, make sure to watch one of the videos appearing on your screen right now to keep strengthening your mental armor. Stay relentless, stay grounded, and keep mastering your path.